Hello everyone, welcome to Marvel Inside Out's another video. In this video, we will talk about how Marvel's Spider-Man 3 could be a Spider-Verse movie and what could be the plot behind this. And guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and do press the bell icon to stay updated for future videos. As we all know, all the things that are happening around Spider-Man, from Fox reprising his role as Electro to confirmation of Doctor Strange in Spider-Man 3, everything is hinting at a live-action Spider-Verse plot. Marvel's upcoming Spider-Man 3 could be the MCU's version of SpiderVerse, a classic comic book story that united the Spider-Man of different dimensions. There's intense speculation about just what this could mean for those past Spider-Man movies, the character's future in the MCU, and Sony's own Marvel universe. The most intriguing possibility is that it could indicate Spider-Man 3 will launch the Spider-Verse in live action. Speaking of which, let's see how Spider-Man 3 could be a live-action Spider-Verse movie. It's easy to forget that, for all Peter Parker describes himself as your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, Peter Parker is one of Marvel's multiversal character. He is connected to the web of life and destiny, a cosmic force that binds all time and space together. The chosen protectors of the web of life and destiny are the Spider-Mans, and every reality has its own Spider-Man, whether bitten by radioactive spiders, empowered by mystical forces, or implanted in cybernetic exo-armors. In 2014, comic book writer Dan Slott came up with the unforgettable Spider-Verse plot, in which all the various iterations of Spider-Man teamed up to defeat a group called the Inheritors, who sought to feast on the Spider-Mans and gain control of the web. This formed the loose inspiration for 2018's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which saw a handful of different Spider-Mans work together against a kingpin. Spider-Man 3 could well be the live-action Spider-Verse, establishing Peter Parker's ties to the multiverse. This would actually flow organically from Spider-Man Far From Home, which saw Peter gain control of his spider sense, or Peter Tingle, as Aunt May calls it. In the comics, the spider sense is Spider-Man's bond to the web of life and destiny, granting him an innate sense of the world around him and a slight degree of precognition. It's technically called an arachnofrequency, and some Spider-Men have even been able to communicate with one another across the multiverse. Peter's experiments with the spider sense could well have amplified his connection with the web of life and destiny, preparing the way for a Spider-Verse plot. It's important to note that Electro is a villain who is tied to the multiverse. One version of Electro saw his world Spider-Man killed during the events of Spider-Verse, and he was close by when interdimensional technology was used. He was able to sense and reproduce the electromagnetic signatures associated with dimension jumping and launched an ambitious scheme to hope between the timelines, trying to find a world he could rule. To Electro's delight, he eventually stumbled upon one where he had already done just that, a timeline ruled by a genius version of himself. Intelligence and experience combined, and soon an army of Electros was sweeping through the multiverse. The news about Jamie Foxx may well make a Spider-Verse-style event all the more likely, perhaps with these Electros seeking out Spider-Men as potential threats. There is one more possibility that Spider-Verse could set up the Web Warriors for Sony's Marvel future. In the comics, Spider-Verse left the web of life and destiny vulnerable, and many realities without their own Spider-Man to defend them. A handful of spiders teamed together as the so-called Web Warriors, using interdimensional tech to jump across the multiverse and protect all of reality. Interestingly, a comment from Marvel Studios president Kevin last year suggested this may well become true of the MCU's Peter Parker, allowing Tom Holland's Spider-Man to be used by both Marvel Studios and Sony Pictures. Spider-Man also happens to be the only hero with the superpower to cross cinematic universes, Kevin observed. So as Sony continues to develop their own Spideyverse, you never know what surprises the future might hold. This may explain Spider-Man's role in Sony's Spider-Man spin-offs. The Morbius trailer confirmed a version of Spider-Man existed in this reality, but has been branded a murderer. Interestingly, further set photos have suggested this Spider-Man has subsequently disappeared. These films could therefore be set in a world that exists in the same multiverse as the MCU, one that requires protection by the Web Warriors because it has lost its Spider-Man. If Tom Holland's Spider-Man joined the Web Warriors, then he would become available to both Marvel Studios and Sony Pictures, jumping between the two cinematic universes with ease. And last but not least, the MCU's Phase 4 is all about the multiverse. The Loki Disney Plus series features the trickster god created in Avengers Endgame, part of a branch of reality that was never closed off by the Avengers, and he's explored to use the Tesseract to travel throughout the multiverse. Scarlet Witch's power set appears to be changing to match up to her comic book counterpart, with the first WandaVision trailer suggesting she will likely unwittingly create a reality bubble over the town of Westview. Elizabeth Olsen is confirmed to subsequently appear in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and given her expanding powers, it's possible she is herself the cause of it all. It is also confirmed that Doctor Strange would be present in Spider-Man 3, that means he could guide Peter to his own Spider-Verse and be his mentor after Tony Stark. So, what do you think guys, how Spider-Man 3 will take place in the MCU? Is it be a Spider-Verse movie, or it will guide us to the Spider-Verse? Do tell your thoughts in the comments. Also, do like and share the video, and for more Marvel-related news and updates, follow us on Instagram. We will see you in the next video. Till then, be safe and be marvelous.
Battling emptiness, I try to get over this, but the weight pulls me down.